have to make sure, let me make sure my featured link is showing, guys, because I committed myself to every time I'm doing a live, I'm gonna make sure all our products are 20% off. So, and sometimes I forget. Let me see. Let's go up. Let's go up. And I'm just sitting in here in the lab inside of my office, man. Just, well, our office, just trying to, we work, man. We always doing stuff, trying to figure stuff out. Let me put my discount up. And we got a Facebook Live discount. And the Facebook Live discount is always 20% off. Let me find my live discount. What's going on, everybody? Come on in the room. All right, so Facebook Live discount is 20% off. And we're going to make it from, what's today? Today is the 25th. And the time is 2:01. So we're going to go 25th time, 2:01. We're going to go to 4 o'clock. So we get 2 hours of the discount, 20% off our stuff. How everybody doing today? It's Larry. What's going on? How you doing? I'm sitting here drinking me some green tea. I tried this green tea from this company. It's a company, man. It's like a Japanese company. Hey, man, this stuff is strong, buddy. Yeah, it's good, though. I quit drinking coffee. I had to let the coffee go, man. Yeah, I let that coffee go. And boy, you talking about a headache. Man, I had the worst headache in the world when I let that coffee go. Man, I was miserable. I don't think I'm going to ever pick that coffee back up again. I love me some coffee, though. But boy, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it, man. The only thing, like I said, the only drawback to coffee, guys, is when you try to quit. When you try to quit coffee, oh my God, that stuff is no joke. But I'm out here in my office, man. I need to clean up. I've been working. Always working. Yep. I ain't gonna say always. We take breaks and stuff, but I just feel like this time, well, this how I feel. I truly believe that, you know, God give us the ability to, then we have to utilize that. I think one of the worst things we can do is take our health and our time for granted because we don't know how long we're gonna have it. What's going on, Miss Carolyn? How you doing? Yeah, we don't know how long we're gonna have our health and our the ability to be able to work. So while we have that ability, I think we should be trying to accumulate as much as possible. Either it's just accumulating experience, accumulating something, guys. Because the way our society set up, the way our country set up, guys, that retirement thing up into our 80s and 90s is, I don't know, guys. I don't know. My granddaddy had a pension. My granddaddy just passed. He had a pension. A legitimate pension. My granddaddy made, I did his taxes one year. All together, with his pension and his Social Security, sitting at home, he made, it was right around 60. It was a little under 60K a year. Think about that. You know what I mean? Like, my granddaddy was able to sit at home with his pension. He had Social Security and he had a pension. Man, he made like right around 60K a year, man. Straight up. And we all know the days of pensioners. I don't know. And then the next thing is, this how I feel, and this all, it don't make it real. But did y'all remember, was it Yellow Trucking, the company that closed? And when the company closed, it got rid of the pension. The people were sitting at home and they had gave that company all their lives. So this is not to say you don't supposed to do that. So let's make sure I don't say that. Because when I talk to people and they say, they're, you know, I got a few people, they say they working towards a pension. Like they say, yeah, man, I'm going to get me a pension. And I say, man, that's good. I actually hope you do. But the thing is about it, what we have to be mindful of is that, man, these companies don't play fair. And then there's no kind of like government regulation to make them play fair. So you'll be doing what you're supposed to do. But if they get to a point where they can't honor their obligation, that's okay with me and you. If we can't honor our obligation, we end up in trouble. Like they want to sue us. They want to take everything we got, even put us in jail. But these big companies, they have a right, if they can't honor their obligation, to walk away from us. And it's nobody holding their feet to the fire to do that. So for us, I think all of us, we have to make sure we're looking out for ourselves in some shape, form, or fashion outside of a company. And this is not speaking to get a company. This is not me saying don't work for a company. I'm not saying that. So don't take my words and try to say, Larry said, I know. That's not what I'm saying. I worked my job for 11 years. And all the while I was working my job up until the last, let's say, okay, I was on probably like a 5-year run. I was just working on my own stuff. And I was working on how to use these cameras to make money. I was learning how to do all this stuff. Mostly all this equipment y'all see me, I already had this stuff, right? So I was working on my own stuff even while I had the job. Because for me, I felt like I couldn't really count on these people to do this for me. Kara said, I'm tired. I'm 10 years to retirement, and I'm praying for you and yours, me and mine, land in my future, and being able to take care of mine. You and Miss Yolanda are amazing. Thanks for all your advice and knowledge. To God be the glory. Amen. So what I like about the land idea is the land idea provides a way for us to eat and provide another avenue of making money. So if you got enough space, you know, you can raise some animals. And, you know, a lot of people don't think about that stuff like, man, I don't want to raise no animals, but you can make money with animals. I want you to understand this. As the prices of everything continue to rise and people become more aware that corporations are poisoning them, because that's the truth, right? We all know and understand that the corporations are putting antibiotics and chemicals into the food that's causing us to be sick, right? The American diet is we're sickly. We're sickly people. If you look all around the world, not everywhere, but most of the countries, a lot of the people, they harvest and they grow their own food, and they're not as sickly as we are. They may be sickly for lack of health care, but they're not sickly with the stuff that we have, right? So as people wake up to this fact, because a lot of us are waking up to the fact that we cannot count on the American nothing, you know, when it comes to regulation, the FDA, to control the food, the drugs. We can't count on that, right? So people going to want more natural foods, and they need more people they can trust to produce the food, right? So that's where you and I come in at. People like you and I, right? Let's say you want to buy you a 25-acre piece of land, which is a decent piece of land, for especially for a newbie who getting started. You want to buy you 25 acres, and you want to grow you some veggies on a small scale. You want to do some animals on a small scale. You know, the Muslims buy what they call halal meats. They do. They buy the lamb meat, they buy the goats, they buy it. So you got groups of people who are just buy meat from you. Okay? Like, I don't think people understand that. You got a group of people that will come and support your place. Once you show that you're selling quality meat, once you show that, you know, good tasting quality meat, and they don't have to worry about it being processed in a whatever way, because they butcher their own meat. They like to butcher, and they want to make their prayers and stuff with their own meat, right? So that's a way for you to make money. I think we just done got boxed in. Somebody told me a long time ago, poor is the mouse that only have one hole. I remember not really understanding that there was more than one way to make money. I didn't understand it. I thought the only way we're supposed to make money is to get a job or do something illegal. I didn't understand that you can make money in many other different ways. So that's the same way with this ag stuff, this agriculture stuff, guys. You know, these people ain't having these big old tractors, and y'all see these folks living on these 100-acre places. And I was at a place the other day. I think they said they had 70,000 acres. Like, do you know how big that is, man? I think they said 70,000. It was either 7,000 or 70,000. But where we was humongous. Like, it was massive. But the reason why I'm saying, because my wife heard them, but the man had the tractor on or something like that. But they're out there. They got a place full of John Deere tractors. They have a place with all these trucks out here, all this hay. Like, these people are making a lifestyle, you know. Now, I want to say this so all you guys will know. So we'll be clear about this. A lot of people, a lot of the farmers, A lot of the people who grow animals and grow vegetables and stuff, they get subsidies. There are government subsidies for farmers, guys. Understand it. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There are subsidies for farmers. You have farmers who grow certain crops. They acre out their place. They take a map up into the USDA. They do what they call acring it out. They show where they're gonna grow all the sweet potatoes or where they're gonna grow whatever crop. What they do is they grow it based on the numbers that they're providing that year. The USDA put out a report and they may say soybean gonna get you 40 cents a pound, right? Or whatever pound. So these people will go out and plant 100 acres of soybean. And they'll go up to the USDA and they'll acre out their place. They'll show on a map, an aerial map, what they're planting and everything. And man, these people don't even, I don't even, I would say for the most part, the USDA don't even really go check and see if those people are even growing that stuff. They may show up. And then another thing they do, they have something called crop insurance, okay? Crop insurance is when you can insure your crop. So it was one YouTube creator who who went to prison. He just went to prison. I think he got to go for a couple years. Big guy, big time YouTube following. They found out that the common thing to do was to write off your crops. So a big storm come through, a lot of rain, or a big storm come through, a lot of hail, then you file a claim against your crops. You say, I lost doggone so many crops, and you get another check. You see what I'm saying? We just don't know enough as a people. And not when I say we, I'm talking about not a color or race. I'm talking about a group of people who only been taught one way to survive outside of that system. That system is fine, y'all, as long as it stands up. But if the system, like right now, we seeing chips in the system, all the layoffs, you know, like this gonna continue to happen. We build up, go back down. People think they're safe on their jobs. You're starting to see, well, not starting to see, they say the car market is in a bad shape. So many repossessions. Hearing wind that the foreclosures are coming. That it's the same stuff over and over again because people can't afford to pay for stuff because they're losing their jobs. When debt is your only resource, I say this, when debt is your only resource, people are proud to be able to borrow. Like people are proud to say, I can go get into this much debt. Not teaching people how to be financially responsible, financially literate, how to save money. It's hard now because the cycle is started, you know, but just learning how to come together. Y'all see me post a video about us living all together on a place and doing something called collective economics, right? Collective economics is all of us chipping in together to make one dream and go happy. But there has been propaganda in our society for so long that speak against that. We are psychologically engineered to not want to do that. I believe that. I believe that was taught many moons ago. That was taught a long time ago. And I think that's been pumped into us repetitively, not just at home, within social engineering, on the TV, in school, the things that we're being taught. I really believe that's why it's hard for Americans to actually come together and work. Because we've been taught not to be like that. And the reason why we're taught not to be like that, y'all, is because it's better for us to be, it's better for the corporations, it's better for everybody else for us to be divided. So if all y'all have to go get a mortgage, then who making the money? The banks are making the money. You see, we got a family of 15 people. Instead of all 15 coming together and buying a piece of property, they buy a house, they live in it, big enough house for them to live in, or 5 houses that they live in. They buy it and they pay it off. And then now the next family go buy a house, they got cash, and the next family go buy a house. Until 10 years, everybody got a house and everybody house paid for. No, the banks say, no, we can't let these people think like this. Why would we let these people think like this? You know what I mean? These people need to want to go be by themselves. These people need to be individuals. They cannot do collective economics. So what happens is we've been pumped and talked into being individuals instead of being united. So being individuals, we are a resource to everyone except ourselves and our family. Operating as individuals, what we do is we hold up a banking system. We'll hold up a car market. We hold up a housing market. We hold up taxation, you know, because every time everybody run out and get their own place, their own car, their own everything, there's tax dollars associated with that too now. Y'all got to understand that. Tax dollars are associated with that. So every time somebody say, okay, we're going to run out and we're going to get our own house. Okay, those are new property taxes. That's revenue for the county. Okay, you have to pay taxes on your power bill. You have to pay taxes on everything you use for that house. So every time each one of us go create our own little separate little situation, we're creating interest money for the banks, tax money for the government, state, local, and federal, guys. So speaking to a group of people who want to hear, how do we get out of this situation? We get out of this situation by working collectively. And what's got to happen is we have to be patient with one another. We have to be able to work with one another, man. We're so unforgiving of one another, right? Yeah, I'm just making sure y'all know all our products on the website are 20% off. But we don't know how to work together, man. And then it just be crazy stuff. Like you got people in the family who just don't know how to work with each other. Like, yeah, everybody got this member of their family, man, who, when we see that person show up at the family get together, we know it's about to be some bull. You know what I mean? Like, we all got these members in our family. They really got mental health issues, if you want to know the truth. But we come from a time, especially all us 60s, 70s, 80s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. The 90s is, but 2000s is when the 90s and 2000s, these folks started getting health care, right? Mental health care. But for all of us who grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, man, you ain't get no mental health stuff, man. Everybody, that joker walking around bipolar is, I don't know what, man. I'm talking about for real. That's what's wrong with them. They got mental health issues, but they never been diagnosed. So here come the family get together. Cousin such and such. Oh my God. It's going to be something. So how can we build when we dealing with that? So when I talk about us coming together collectively, I actually mean that it might not be our like DNA families. And this the part we have to really, really come to terms with. It might not be your DNA family, what I'm talking about. It may actually be a group of like-minded people that gonna support and love you and appreciate and value you. I always say go where you appreciate it and not tolerate it. So when I speak of family, I'm not just talking about blood ties, because we all know blood ties can be some of the worst people ever, especially when money come involved. You know, you got some family members that y'all, as long as y'all going to dinner together, it's fine. Y'all eating ribs, it's fine. We going fishing together, it's fine. But let some money get involved, that joker turn into a whole different creature that you didn't even know exist. You get what I'm saying? So you definitely want to do business with them. Don't want to do business. So I understand how that go. But we need to get to the point as a unit where we can work together as a collective. If you can do it with your DNA family, then that's absolutely wonderful. You know, because it's enough history there, and then there should be enough love and bond there. Like you got, that's the ideal. The ideal is that we all as a unit can be together. That would be the greatest ideal. And it would feel good. But as y'all all know, that ain't necessarily true. You know, people start taking each other for granted. You have family members that take each other for granted, like don't really value, like they'll go out into the world and service these people they'll treat these people way better than they'll treat you, and you the one really got their back. You see what I'm saying? Like they'll be in the world, you'll see them bowing down and supporting and help build something that they not even gonna inherit. You get what I'm saying? Like you helping build something you ain't even gonna inherit. You know, so for me, man, I'm just speaking this to everybody who will listen to me enough. I'm speaking it enough to everybody who will listen to me. All right. Now, let's say that ain't going to work for you. I got another side of that. All right. Let's say that ain't going to work for you. So if that's not going to work for you, you tried, it don't work, then you have to build what you can with what you got, you know. And I know that's sad, but that's how a lot of people are right now. And that's the state a lot of people are in. They in the state of, I'm just looking out for me and mine, because I tried that family stuff and I tried that group stuff and it just never worked. And unfortunately, that's the truth. But I can say this. Poverty when people get poor and money run out, but humility comes. When the money run out and the food stamps run out and the help run out and people don't have assistance, but you'll see a level of humility we ain't seen in our society in a long time. See, we ain't seen humility in a long time. We ain't. The men don't need the women don't need the men, the kids don't need the parents. Nobody need each other. I got mine, you need to get yours. That's the dumbest thing you ever tell your children. Do not tell your children, I have mine, now it's time for you to go get yours. Now you 85 and you over there in yours, barely can hold your head up, and they in theirs. You know, and they like, don't tell them that, So I be wise. Let me check some of the comments. Hey, man, do you have a starter ebook? A starter ebook. I'm sorry. I just noticed it's a starter ebook for what? Tell me what you mean. I'm not trying to be funny. Just tell me exactly what you mean. I may can put one together. Okay, let me see. Here we go. I agree with what you're saying. Thank you. Tell me where you're checking in from, too. Stay strong. Thank you, Philip. Larry, hook me up with a double wide on your land and I will pay. Nah, brother, you gotta, I'm building out. I got my niece getting ready to come. My niece getting ready to come down. She's supposed to be able to come down. So I got my daughter here, my grandmama here, then my niece getting ready to come down. She trying to build her life. So I got a group of people who want to work with me and help us build, and I'm able to provide a starting point, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to provide a starting point for these young people, man. The young people getting started in life, and y'all know how most of us got started. We got started, went and got an apartment, end up buying a house, got in debt early, end up taking the first half of our life trying to pay the debt off. Now we in our late 50s, mid 50s, early 50s, mid 60s, late 60s, going in our 70s, either just now getting out of debt, got out of debt 5 years ago. Now we to the point where we building because we spent our first 30 years paying for tomorrow's money. So when you borrow money today for your towards your tomorrow income, you're going to spend your first many years just trying to pay it off. Valdosta in the house. What's up, y'all? What's up? I see y'all over there. Texas, Valdosta, Georgia. What's up, Valdosta? From the DWF, that's Detroit, right? DWF, no, DFW. That's Detroit, right? So, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to keep my younger people from doing, to run out and go get themselves in debt, man. Sylvia said, watching from Maryland, trying to get my family to get a compound. And yeah, I understand, Sylvia. It may be a situation where you got a few that'll do it. Remember, this how it has to look, all right? This how it has to look. If it's going to work, it need to look like this. We got the elders in the group who have the money. They make the money. Whether it's you got a good job, did well in the stock market, you got a good pension, you're getting $5,000 a month in retirement, whatever, right? The younger people still trying to figure it out, but we need the younger people. So the younger people not going to be able to contribute financially as much, guys, but they're going to be able to contribute with their strength. Murder Beach in the house, what's up? They're going to be able to contribute with their strength. Oh, Dallas Fort Worth, I got you, Kim. So it has to look like that. So trying to get the younger people to contribute financially they ain't got no money. You know what I mean? But listen, they can help with the physicality. As we get older and we aging out, you need them young folks to help lift that stuff. You need them young folks to help do this. You need the young folks. So what we do with the young people is we provide our parts of it. We may have to be the ones to buy the land and finance the land. And this is the part we got to get out of with ourselves. We got to understand our role. You got to understand how you fit into the collective economic structure. Where do you fit it? Everybody don't have the same job and everybody don't have the same role. When you go to a company, there's different roles. You hear what I'm saying? So today, Figure out what's your role and the role, the era you in, what's your role. So as we get older and we're the older generation, we are the finances, guys. And that's the part our older generation, we are the ones with the money. Now, we still can do physical labor, but we're the ones that have an understanding. We know that the bank trying to hustle us because we done been hustled. We're the ones who smarter than them, been through something. We know, we got experience, right? So the finances of the compound may start with us. Okay, this is why we're the heads. The finances start with us. Now, we don't exclude the young people because the young people can't pay nothing. They're stupid. Don't do that. We don't exclude them. What we do is we invite them in, rule, structure, and order. It has to be, but you still can't be lording over them. They can't do what they want to do, but you invite them in and coach them into, especially the ones who are coachable. Now, this only applies to the ones you can coach, because some of them gonna come and you got to kick them off. Like, y'all got to go, you know. But the ones who are coachable, the ones who are respectful, the ones who will work towards the dream, goal, and ideal, they're gonna make some dumb choices here and there, but at the end of the day, we can coach them, right? We invite them onto the family compound. They get onto the family compound. They know they don't have any money to offer. We fine with you being here. Don't worry about it. You can stay in such and such old single wide right there. That's your place. Bring your family, y'all and y'all 3 kids. Come on, you and your wife and y'all 3 kids. Y'all can stay in such and such old place. All right. We got a well. We got multiple wells out here. The light bill to be covered. You may tell them, okay, just pay y'all power bill. That's it. The rest, we got all that. Y'all good. So what y'all bring to the table is labor. That's it. Y'all are here to help physically. Y'all have the energy. So what we're trying to do is work as a unit, right? So like Sylvia said, I am financially stable to set up, but dealing with elderly is hard. I know. So now we got these younger people. Sylvia, you may have to go down and not up. You may have to reach down and not reach up. So now, because I got to remember, a lot of our elderly people, when they get to a certain point on their fixed income, they're scared. They're not trying to spend no money. And a lot of elderly people start thinking they're too old. So they start, they not. So they may just be like the younger people, and you just have to invite them on. Just come on, y'all here. We're gonna give y'all a place. But the elderly people understand. A lot of them still can contribute. My grandma and granddaddy put a double wide out here on my place. I didn't pay for that double wide. They paid for that double wide. So now when I bought this place only had 1 double wide on it. But because we invited my grandma and granddaddy down and y'all come live here with us, we love y'all. They put their own double wide. So now what started as one property with 1 double wide now it's a property with 2 double wides on it. So we almost probably done double the value of the property. You see what I'm saying? So, but if I was the type to say, no, y'all gotta pay, that wouldn't have happened. You see what I'm saying? So the value, what each individual bring may not be the money to buy the land. It may not even be the money to pay the taxes on the land. But you got to look at value is not just in money. It's not. So they may just be the ones that can help you with the building portion of it. You know, you got a nephew. I told my nephew, I got a nephew, you know, they young and they stubborn and they want things their way. They don't have really enough information to make the right decisions in life, right? So as they start making the right decisions in life, you still here for them. So for me, let me tell you what my ideal would be. Let me show you what my ideal thing would be. All right, so I got some young nephews and nieces. We could get a 5th wheel, a little 5th wheel. They come down and share that place, right? We got a trade school right up the road from me. You know what I mean? If y'all could come down and go to that trade school, I'm gonna tell you, this is what you should get. This idea that young people are supposed to chase their dreams was the dumbest idea that America ever established. The idea that the young person have enough smarts and intelligence to pick their own career was stupid. I don't know who came up with that, but that was stupid. Y'all got young people who dizzy is on or what, going to school, picking degree fields that it ain't even gonna be worth the paper that it's hanging on. Like they're not even worth that. But that's what they want to do, and that's what I have passion for. Boy, you gonna be a welder. We need to get back to that in our society where the young people listen and the parents tell them what to do and they follow, right? So let's say you got a group of young people. They want to listen. You need to go to school and we need a welder on the place. Once you get your welding skills, you're going to be able to make money on your own too, son. But we need a welder. You see what I'm saying? So now he go to school. We done help pay for this man to go to school. He come back to the place. He gonna go get him a job. Facts, right? But he growing up while he doing it. But he understand it now. Hopefully he get older. And it ain't gonna work for everybody. You gonna have some that cut out on you and say forget you, but you still help them, right? So now this person on the compound, they didn't have to worry about where they gonna live at. They didn't have to worry about what they gonna eat because we working on the farm, we growing vegetables and stuff. I know it ain't the McDonald's they want, but guys, you got fresh collard cabbage and everything. Come down here and get your plate, man. You got a plate. We cook extra every time. We working together now. So since we working together, they eat, we eat. We ain't got to all sit around the table to eat. Come get you and your, we cook. And man, we made some bread. Come get some bread. We working together. So they go to the school, they go to the trade. This is just my dream and vision, right? They go to school and get a trade. Whether it's like Sylvia said, electrician, concrete, heating and air, union jobs, no computer can do. Yeah, absolutely. So we need contractors, people know how to build, they carpenters. We need welders. We need people that know how to pour concrete. We need people that know how to work the land, grade the land, build the land. So we talking about we go get us a couple 100 acres. We gonna need somebody. We gonna need equipment. We gonna need bulldozers. We gonna need a bulldozer. We gonna need an excavator. We gonna probably need a little skid steer. Because we're going to have to be able to go out there and clear off land and home sites and grade them. We're going to need to dig holes for septic tanks. And we ain't going to have the money to be trying to pay no company. So what we need to all go in on, even if it's just all of us financing it together, get us a machine. We get us a couple of machines and get us a trailer to pull them around the place. And yeah. And the beauty of us having our own machines is this. Once we got our own machines, if somebody on the place want to take the machine and we say, hey, we done found a job, we can go use the bulldozer and the excavator. It's just sitting right now. You can make money with it too. So it's many ways we can make this work. From the food aspect, from the child care aspect, the people, all of us living on the compound, the young people say, okay, we're going to go and we're going to go get the job. I'm going to find me a job. I'm going to work. I'm going to do this. But we don't want to spend up all our money on child care. All right, I'm here all day. I'm working on the place. I work from home, whatever. I'll watch them. You know what I mean? You good. And I know people don't want to hear that. I ain't going to wipe my own children, but how we going to make it ahead in life if everybody only concerned with their own children? That's why everybody is in their own little individual houses struggling. Everybody is in their own little individual castles struggling. So we all work together and we all come together. So now we got teenagers on the place. So the teenagers can help be the little child care. And, you know, we incentivize them. And we ain't making them just the child care forever. But, hey, watch such and such while they go. And, you know, that's how you make your little extra money. And then when she want to go off and yeah, it's a way to make it happen, guys. But it's not going to work if all of us only focusing on ourselves individually. It's not going to work. So first thing first, before we speak to the problem, we got to speak to ourselves, right? Before we say what my niece and nephew won't do and we say what my sister won't do or what, no, we got to first realize what our people and what our individuals do, right? Ourselves. So, hey, man, yeah, they green. I got some green tea, man. They just strong. But, yeah, I'll spit this thing here. But, first figure out how you fit into it. And if you and your stinking thinking is part of the problem, all right? So the first thing, it's not going to work if you part of the problem. You see what I'm saying? Every individual that come to the place going to come and it's going to be some bad ideas. It's going to be people who got their own little ideas and they want to. And what we do is we're going to have enough grace on each individual to help teach them. The ones that it won't work for, then we got to figure out, we got to have a system in place where, hey, man, you know, maybe you just get a job and just pay towards this. If you don't want to be a unity thing, yeah, you know, I don't know. But this ideal of us being individually, it's not working. Y'all know that, right? Everybody on here know. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook at the same time. Everybody on here, we all know that us working together as individuals has not worked. We can say that safely. That what we are witnessing is all these little individual little castles, all these little individual little ideals. Everybody got their own little individual thing. It's not working. It's not. And the older we get, because while we still young, we still got the opportunity to be arrogant. So everybody arrogant while they young. Everybody saying what they don't want to do or what they won't do while they young. While you young and you healthy, you arrogant. I'm this, that. Now, how many of y'all have seen your older generation get older? Same people that wasn't studying you, wasn't concerned with you when you were growing up. Now mad because you won't even come over. They asking you why you never come see us. All the while when they were young, healthy, and vibrant, they weren't studying you. When they were taking their vacations, they was doing everything. They were almost showing out like y'all ain't welcome here. Now they've gotten older. Bodies are breaking down. And they done took all the vacation, don't work the job, can't work no more. Now they sitting in the house and they're asking themselves, why you won't come around? Because they never ever took the time to show love, took the time to build unity while they were young. So if you were able to watch this video right now and you see this, this is your warning, because we hope we get a chance to be old, because everybody is not going to make it to be old, right? So we pray to the Lord that we going to make it to be older people. And as we get older, we're going to have issues. Our bodies may not be as strong no more. Some of us going to come down with diseases. Some of us going to just, we're older people now. And we're going to want the young people around us. We're going to want them to come visit. We're going to want them to bring the grands by. We're going to want them to bring the great-grands by. We're going to want them to call us. We're going to want them to tell us this, that, and the third. I've witnessed this time and time again in my life. I have saw this repeatedly, because who we grew up with, when I grew up around aunties and uncles who weren't studying us. They didn't care to have us around. The aunties wanted to outdo our mamas or outdo our grandmamas. They didn't care to have us around. They didn't treat us right. It wasn't like they just showed love. The only person who I can say genuinely showed me a repetitive amount of love just over and over again, didn't ever switch up on me, was my great-grandmother mother. My grandmama, but my great-grandmama mother. She just never flipped out on me. Me and mother, that was my great-grandmama. And I would argue with her. Like, she about to get my uncle to beat me up one time because I'm in there arguing with her. My uncle coming in, but you gonna be talking to my mama like that. And he was right. But she was wrong. We was sitting there having a talk, and we got to arguing about something. But I ain't had no business arguing with my great grandmama. It wasn't like I jumped up, slap you. No, we were arguing about something. She wrong. I'm telling her. And then she called him my uncle. My uncle coming over to me. He ain't gonna be talking to my mama like that. And he was right. But, yeah, man. So, but how many times have you witnessed in your life to see the same older people who didn't care to have you around when you were young, now want you around? So we have to understand that if God so fit and we wake up every morning and keep waking up, we gonna become old like that, right? And I don't want to be old and my children don't even want to come around, or my grandchildren, because even if my children don't want to come around, I feel like my grandchildren may, and then if we live to see their children, and maybe they'll bring their children by. And they may got to come over and be loud and make a mess in the house a little bit, but we'll be all right. We'll live through that. You get what I'm saying? But, I don't want to be like that. So while we still in our right mind and health body, we should be working towards building community within our families or within friends or whatever. We should. I tell you this. If you want to see one of the realest things ever, go sit at a nursing home. Nursing homes. A nursing home will absolutely tell you exactly what life is all about. I've gone to nursing homes. I used to go sit at a nursing home every Wednesday, man. I just started doing this. I'm going to tell you how I got into it. My daddy best friend was named Mr. Powell. Thank you for your order, Michelle. Thank you for your order, Michelle. Thank you for your order. Yeah, Michelle, thank you. But my daddy best friend got sick. He got diagnosed with cancer, right? And he was an older guy, and he never really had anybody. He didn't have anybody. So he ended up going to this it's a nursing home. I don't know, assisted living space, whatever you call it. But it's a nursing home. So he was there. So my daddy would go sit with him every day because my daddy felt bad about him. But what his friend didn't know was he had lost his apartment. He had a government apartment, one of them old projects that, when they tear down the projects, they give people who live there, they got a small number of people who live there, they give them one of the places or whatever, right? So he had one of those. But while he been gone, he lost the place. But he didn't know that. So basically, this nursing home is the only place he got to go. And my daddy didn't tell him. My daddy told me. My daddy told me. So my daddy would go sit with him. And this the first thing my daddy ever truly asked me for. He ain't never asked me for nothing. But he was like, could I go over there and sit with Powell sometime too? I was like, yeah. So I started going over there and sitting with my daddy friend, Mr. Powell, at the nursing home, just to go sit with him. You know, not over there trying to preach to him, pray with him, just sit there and watch TV with him, just so he'd have somebody there with him. That's all I went with, right? So I would go every Wednesday and sit with him. And finally, I was over there. He couldn't hardly talk. He had a stroke. He had always been like that since I know him. Ever since I know that old man, he had kept a big old cigar in his mouth, and he could say like 1 or 2 words. But while I was there, I would go see him, and probably about the 3rd or 4th week, maybe even the 5th week I had been there and see him, that joker reached over and grabbed my arm and said, "Pray, pray." I said, that's how, because he couldn't say them but 1 or 2 words. That's all he could say. He said, "Pray, pray." I said, all right. So I prayed for him. And I prayed for him. And then he was in a wheelchair, and he was like, he want to go home. He said he want to go home. And I didn't tell him he ain't have no place to go. I was like, he said he wanted to leave. He wanted me to, he was clip word, leave, leave. I was like, Powell, you can't leave. And I was like, you got to stay here. And he was like, nah. And then he told me he hurt. So he told me to pray. And we talked, much we could talk. And I left. And he stopped eating. He wouldn't eat no more. And then they had to force the tube at him. He kept ripping it out. And he died. So every Wednesday when I got off work, I went straight to the nursing home. It was over off Columbia Drive, off Glenwood in Columbia. It was a place called Golden Living. So I started going there, all right? So after Mr. Powell passed away, I had became friends with his roommate. So his roommate was a guy. I liked him. He would get up and get out and walk around. Like he was, a lot of them people was just pretty much they had nowhere to go after, they got over their sickness. But this guy was up every day. He wasn't laying in the bed. He was up every day. Good guy. They had the little activities. He took advantage of all the activities. Anytime they had something going on in the day room, he was there. So I became friends with him. And we started talking and cool. So Mr. Powell passed away, and I still wanted to go by and see him. So I went by on Wednesday to see him, and we talked. But they had moved a new guy in Mr. Powell's bed. And this guy was all bent up, bad. But he was young looking. And he was bent up bad, guys. Like, I think he had a stroke or something, but he was messed up. And but when you talk to him, he alert. Like, that what got me. I thought he was like gonna be, no, when he spoke to you, hey man, what's up? But he was messed up. So I started talking with him because the old roommate, he's just be in and out all the time. He's a busybody. So I started talking with this guy. This guy didn't have anybody to come see him. And I remember he said he had a nephew in Kentucky or something. And we were just talking, man. We just talked. And one day he told me, when I came, he said, hey, man, do me a favor. I said, well, he said, you'll have them come change me. I said, man, it hurt my heart so bad. He said, have them come change me, man. So I walked down to the nurse station. I said, hey, I told him, I said, man, he needs y'all to change him. And the lady was like, okay. But you could tell, like, she was like, and she got up. They got up and went down there. And I left. But it was so hard to see how people, they were all young, vibrant, up and running people at one time. And they were there. I remember this one lady. Oh, man, she was a sweet, sweet lady, man. I didn't even know her name. I couldn't go in her room because they said she would get her arms and limbs and stuff cut off. And they said you couldn't go in her room and talk, but you could stand at the door. So I used to just stand at the door and talk with her. And she was just so nice, man. She was swole all up. So nice. She was a nice lady. And I would just talk to her and just like, how you doing? She was like, I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then I came back the next week. She was gone. She passed away. So that kind of made me understand that we all gonna become older people one day. you know, if we blessed. Some of us gonna have good health, some of us not, right? Some of us gonna have problems, some of us not. You get what I'm saying? So I feel as if while we young and vibrant, we should be trying to build something that can kind of cushion the blow of old age, if we can, and not just money, because money will do but so much. And you get sick enough, you'll lose all that stuff. You get what I'm saying? I found out that Medicaid, I think it's Medicaid, they got the Medicaid repayment plan, a Medicare repayment plan, where if your senior have to go into one of those places, they take everything. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, right? I thought those people were just up in there because they got Medicaid pay. No. So this society we live in just cruel. It's cruel. So how about while we young? Okay, your nephew ain't here no nothing, but he got a good heart. We all got the nephew who can't get right but show up to every family get together. That joker can't get right in his personal life, but every time we have a family get together, he in there in the back smoking his weed. Okay, but that joker show up. And instead of me judging him, instead of me looking out my nose at him, how about I just love him? Just love him. And just say, man, you know what? That's who he is. It ain't on me to condemn him, So that's how we build unity in family. It ain't gonna work for everybody. You're gonna have some cousins that'll cut your throat. But for the ones that will work with, I think we should doggone work with. Patricia said, yep, they take the whole check except $50. That's amazing, man. We got a society that does that. We have a society. So they was talking about take the check, but I found out they try to get the house too. Yeah. Yeah, and I found that out because my grandmama was telling me, because my grandmama go visit at a nursing home. And she was telling me that. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, they'll take the house and everything. I didn't know. So most young people don't know. Most young people don't know, guys. Don't y'all understand? So while we're young and vibrant, instead of being a separatist and being so judgmental of your family and being the one, because we all got that family member that look down their nose at everybody. Maybe that's you. So instead of being that individual, how about we try to build something with them folks that, especially, that's why I love the family compound idea. Because I'm not asking y'all to take care of me. Just come and check on me. If I'm laying up in that mug and I'm messed up, if I came down with some kind of disease, y'all check on me. Make sure I'm all right. I heard if you bury them on your property that, somebody correct me. I heard if you bury them on your property, if you burying someone on your property, it's something they can't do on your land. This is what it says. Burying someone on your land, stay connected with Christ Jesus, knowing that our home to come. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They say burying loved one on a private property is legal in many states, including Georgia. Okay, I know now. Provided you check zoning ordinance and permits. Okay. Let me read what it say. What's the benefits of burying someone on your property? Burying a loved one on your property offer benefits like, don't worry about that. I'm looking for, it's something that happens when you bury somebody on your property. They would take your life insurance policy as well. Tell them your loved ones have a policy. Don't tell them, yeah, absolutely. They'll take your policy. Absolutely. Yeah. So we know that. But hold on, man. I'm trying to figure out. It's something that somebody told me that if you bury somebody on your property, is it you don't pay? It's something. I gotta look it up. But hold on. I'm looking at my state. I'm gonna download that. But yeah, so I wanna make sure that we all know that whatever you have been talking about this, he said, we have been talking about this for a long time. Family compound homesteading is in my vision. Yeah, I think homesteading now, guys, is not longer something that, I don't think once you bury someone on your property, it has to be zoned and it has to be established that is a family cemetery. Okay. It's some benefits to that too, man. That's on YouTube. This answer coming from YouTube. Sherry Bostic on YouTube. She said that it has to be established as a family cemetery. But is it we don't pay taxes? It's something you don't pay taxes for that portion. So if you cordon off an acre of a family plot, something like that. But yeah. So I think family Otis is buried on his property. Otis is buried. But what if I don't think homesteading is no longer an ideal, guys. I don't. I don't think homesteading is no longer ideal. I think homesteading is now is a necessity. Okay, Derek said this on Facebook, YouTube. Derek said in Louisiana, if you bury on your property, you don't have to pay property taxes. Now, Derek, I want you to find out if that's for the whole entire property or just for the portion that they're buried on. Is it the whole entire property or is it just for the portion that they're buried on? They say property become tax exempt because it's a burial ground now. All right. Seniors know everything about your finances before you are accepted. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but these are the things as a family we have to start trying to come together. I don't think homesteading is a luxury anymore or ideal anymore. I think Otis Redding. Okay, I didn't know that. He said, I think homesteading is a necessity. Family compound is necessity. Getting back to family, one of the best things that probably can happen to us is all of us go broke. All of us will go broke. And everybody start losing their stuff. And what happens is we all gravitate around each other because we need each other. And once we start needing each other again, then it brings back the unity. But as long as everybody got their own, everybody, that's what my grandmama said. I asked her when it changed for them. She said when we left the country. She said she regret her family leaving the country and going to the city. Because while they was in the country, they were poor. They needed each other. And she said they'll go down and get some pecans out the orchard and, just regular basic stuff. But now everybody to the city, nobody don't even see each other no more. We don't even see each other, So I think that's a necessity now. Because while we've been individuals, we've only been a resource to everyone but ourselves and our family. The banks have taken advantage of us, right? With interest. I mean, they're loaning us money. It is what it is. I ain't gonna say they're taking advantage of us, but y'all know, we pay for a house 3 times before we pay it off. You don't have to take the loan, but look at the amortization statement on the thing. You'll see by the time you get done paying for the house, you only borrowed $150. You done paid $400,000. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy, So the government, the local, state, federal, everybody paying taxes on individual places. Everybody paying taxes on individual cars. Everybody paying taxes on individual everything. But if we did it collectively, it'd be a workaround, So right now, I'm trying to get as many of my family members on board who can mentally, because everybody is not mature enough to make this work. They're not. It's gonna be a small group that is. And sometimes that small group that is, that's why they say the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I really would hope that one day our people wouldn't have to go to nursing homes. My granddaddy died in his bed. He died in his bed. He just went to sleep one night and laid down. My grandma called me. She said, he gone. I said, really? She said, yeah. Went over there and saw him. He was gone. I said, wow. And so that was a good thing to be able to do for him because he was having a lot of health issues. And my grandma, she couldn't be the caretaker. So my grandma started, she wanted to leave. She not leave, but like go and do stuff every day. So I told her, go ahead, I'll check on him. So Jerry made a great statement. It's a guy named Jerry Cannon over on Facebook. He said, homesteading requires a private home care nurse 24/7. Individual does not know how to take care of a sick senior. But let's say, Jerry, one of your family members is a nurse. I have 3 nurses in my family, right? 2 of my sons are married to nurses, and one of them is married to a girl who is becoming a nurse. So let's say, for instance, if instead of us all trying to go do our own collective things, when we go get education or we go get skill set, our first course of action is the skill set is going to benefit our unit first, then benefit the world. But most of us don't do that. Most of us go get skill sets that'll become a value to ourselves so we can make money without thinking about how the skill set can work towards the unit. We don't do anything collective. That's the issue. We don't even choose our mate based on collective. We choose our mates based on individuals. You got so many people who got spouses that the whole family don't like. And the one person that like them, I don't care, that's my baby. You know, the whole family don't like this person. Nobody like this person. So even us, I'm going to pick who I want. But when you marry into a family, you're marrying into the family. And that's something us as Americans got to get to. We so arrogant. You're marrying into a family. Okay? So if you pick a guy, ma'am, and that guy come into your family, and you know, that should be one of the first things you want to know is how that person is going to fit within your current situation. Instead of you bringing somebody in who's going to destroy it all down. You see? So now you go meet somebody who don't care about nothing, and you find with that person, nobody fool with that person. And now you see the whole family shine away from you and that person. And instead of you understanding, you brought the wrong person around, and everybody's choosing to get away from you to protect themselves. You mad and angry. You upset. You know? So we don't do nothing as units no more. Everything is based on ourselves individually. I choose who I want. I do what I want. So let's say I go get a skill. We need nurses, guys. We need nurses on the family compound. We need physicians. You know? We need people to be able to write a prescription. That ain't impossible. It just sounds like it is. Why? Because most of the time somebody become a physician, they getting far away from the family as possible. You know, we don't, the physician don't come around. We got a doctor in the family. The doctor don't come around. That joker don't show up to the family, get together no more. That joker gone. You see what I'm saying? You know? So as a unit, one of the worst things is success. But that's the curse, the blessing and the curse. The success is great, but the success calls us to divide. So how do we become successful and still stay united? Some races, Jerry Kennedy, some races do that. They take care of their parents till the end. Indian folks, I know. I'm gonna tell you how the Indians work. A friend of mine. This is the friend of mine. Great. Sorry, y'all, phone ringing. But I had a great friend of mine. He said this how they do. He said, so what will we end up then? You see what I'm saying? So somebody calling me. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you back, ma'am, if you see this. But I want you to understand that this can be done. But it starts with how do we do it? We got to establish the unity. We have to establish the unity. We have to establish that back first, the bond back first. And it begins with just simple family dinners. We just need to get back to that first. Let's just get back to inviting people to family dinner. That's what we should start doing. You know, let's get back. So where I live at, we have 3 places down here. My daughter has a camp. She have a fifth wheel, very comfortable. My grandmama and my house right here. And then we got the office I'm in. All right. So I enjoy all of them coming down and everybody sleep wherever. That group may sleep over my house. My sister sleep over here with us. This group may sleep with grandmama. The other group may sleep over there with Meal. We all scattered out, but we together. Right? So they doing what the young folks do. They over there spending time with the great grandmama or the grandmama. That group spending time with us, auntie, uncle, or siblings, or whatever. And we building. That's how we do. I'm telling y'all. So when they come down, that's how it always is. Now I got one son, he'll bring his family down, and they may pull out some tents. Like straight up, man, this boy wild. But that's what they do. They camp. So he say, I just want to come down there and go camping. So he'll come down there, bring his tent, pull his tent out. Him and his wife and his kids will set up a tent and they'll go camp. They'll just camp out. And they got campfires and they may be over there in the cut over there with the campfire going, camped out, just doing their camping thing. You know? But we together. You see? So all of us are coming together on whatever level we want to meet at. But we got to start somewhere. And I don't know how it works for your family. And I don't know how it's going to work for your family or your group. I don't know. I'm working with my family. I'm doing what I can to get them down and get them to spend time. Everybody not going to come. All right. Everybody is not going to be a part of it, guys. And it may hurt your feelings and you can't get them all to come. And that's fine. You know, I understand, you know, I understand. So if you don't want to be a part of it, that's okay. Now, what we have to understand is once they come to their senses and they willing to contribute, we can't say, oh, I thought you said. Nah. Because we're trying to build something long term, you know. So the last shall be first, the first shall be last. So the very individual that might have not wanted to be a part of it initially may end up being the best one, period, to be a part of it. So we got to all be working towards building it collectively. Now, I want to say this. How do we do it and we ain't never been taught? Because ain't nobody ever taught us this. Anybody ever taught you that? Ain't nobody ever taught me that. I remember us all going over Mother House. I think the young people are the key. All of us used to go over Mother House. We had my great-grandmama mother. And we used to all be over Mother House. All of us. All my cousins. Coco, Tasha, them twins, John, Ray, Booger Bell, Tink Baby. All of us be over there. My sisters, we all be over Mother House. Right? And then, you know, everybody got their own little favorites. But we all would be over Mother House. And we'll be in the backyard. Uncle such and such cooking some. You know, their uncle over there. So we got to try to get back to that. We have to. I don't know how we do it. Rodney said a family compound. You're learning from me, Larry. Thank you. Or even duplex or quad buildings can stabilize and help your family. So listen, you build out a duplex or you build out a quadruplex if you can. Because a lot of time with the countries, you got to know the zoning laws and stuff. And you let everybody get their own little spot. And it starts, this is how it starts, I think. It starts with them coming to visit for the weekend, right? So they come to visit for the weekend. We all sit around and eat, laugh, and joke. Then eventually somebody going to have the idea, man, I love to live down here. And that's when well, come on. I don't know where I'm going to work at. We'll figure it out. Man, look, we'll figure it out. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm saying we will figure it out. You know? And from there, we have to, all of us put our collective heads together. So look at the video I just posted. Let me see something. Somebody just, yeah. It said, and they have a 5-year look back. Like 5-year look back. What you mean by that? I missed something. But, so one thing being down here in the country has taught me. Now go look at my last video. When we moved down here, guys, it was a leap of faith. It was a faith work thing. Y'all better hear me. Listen, we did not know anybody in Fitzgerald, Georgia. We did not know anybody, nothing, right? We didn't. So we just moved down here to get out the city. When we got here, and I'm trying to make a point about the family members saying they don't know how they gonna work, what they gonna do, what this. We got down here and got to work. We got busy, y'all. We started pulling out cameras, shooting videos, everything. And it's working. Is it easy? No. But it's working. All right? So I believe where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's work and faith, gotta honor it. That's what I believe. Let me read what Jerry say, because he got some great comments. Jerry say, the oldest family member was king or queen of wisdom to teach the young people. They started trending to togetherness of family. Yeah, and we have to pick up that torch. Yeah, we can't allow it to die. We can't allow our disdain for our brother or our disdain for our uncle such and such to allow the bond to break. Because that's what generally happens. Such and such passed away. That's how it been in my family. And then everybody just scattered. And everybody got their own little stuff they doing, trying to build their own little weird little kingdoms, like it's weird. Instead of saying, nah, we're going to all still try to come together. And somebody got to be able to hold that, you know. But that's just one of them things, man. We allow it to break. Let me see. Oh. Okay. So more Rashonda is over here telling us about Medicaid. She said Medicaid has a 5-year look back in case someone puts in a trust, sales, etc. So basically they're saying they're going to look back 5 years into your history to see if you planned on being in a nursing home, start selling stuff off, did a trust, or etc. You know, yeah. So my granddaddy, let me tell you what my granddaddy had. My granddaddy had home health care. So my granddaddy they had nurses come by. He was running them out. I don't need no more of that. So, yeah. And that's a thing. And we stay in rural. Hey, we stay way down the dirt road, y'all. This ain't no random place to be coming down here. You know, Confederate flag flying, dirt road riding straight up. All right? But them jokers used to come back here. Them jokers used to pull up, dogs running. Your dog's gonna bite? Nah, all right, getting out, walking. Come and see granddad. Checking his vitals. He running them out. Like, I'm talking about they had home physical aid, everything for him. For real. I'm trying to catch him at it. Shannon said that's what we started. Unfortunately, our adult children have found social media and delusional beliefs as their motto, as is not honoring their parents. Yeah, I understand. You know, I do. I trying to reach. So the plan was to destroy the family in the beginning. Yeah, you said, and it's expensive home health care. Yeah, I imagine it is. Yeah, my granddad didn't pay for nothing. Yeah, he ain't pay for nothing. I'm telling you straight up. So I don't know how he got it, but he ain't pay for nothing. But yeah, it's hard trying to reach this younger, more selfish, demonic influence young generation. Not saying they know it. It is. But what we do, we can't give up, can we? We can't get up. I don't think we should give up. Rashana said you definitely have to plan. It's important for us to tax and estate plan. You ain't never lie about that. You know, the information is so vague and you can't trust lawyers and attorneys. You know, but I do agree. Tax and estate planning is important. I learned that about my daddy. When my daddy passed away, boy, woo, man, that was a mess, boy. That's why I learned, don't run and get in nobody's business, boy. I don't care. If they didn't have a will, stay out of it. Stay out of it. I'm telling you. If them jokers didn't have a will, and they didn't say you the executor, because if they have a will, they have an executor, and that executor gonna do what the will say they supposed to do. But if they say I am the administrator, that means that joker didn't have a will. And it's gonna be some mess. It's about to go through probate. And the lawyer's gonna get all the money. And they gonna try their best to extend it, because I learned this when you go through probate. When you go through probate, this is what I learned. There's a tier who get paid. All right. Rashida Marshall, I'm looking forward to homesteading, tax planning, and estate planning. Got to get me a gate card. Absolutely. Get your gate card. You get you a gate card. Absolutely. Yeah, so when I learned when I went through probate with my daddy, because I was his administrator, there is a tier who get paid. So the lawyers get paid, then the administrator get paid, because the person who administrate the estate gonna get paid too. And what the lawyers will drain every little bit of money out there, the state. They will. They'll drain it, man. When I say that's who end up with the money. The lawyers end up with the money. You know, I saw it. You know, I saw the attorney I had filing paperwork about nothing. Yeah, and just tell me to come to the office. He need to talk. And I'm like, why? And I get there, it's a billable hour or two. He just billing against the estate. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. So, yeah, especially us, people of color, we got to get to the point where we learn how to do this stuff. We have to learn how to do that. You know, we have to learn how to estate plan and that stuff, because we lose our stuff. Charles said, I had the same issues, but they provided great service. But I got to watch thieves. They target rural areas. Yeah, well, no one is safe right now, Charles. You know, rural areas, nobody is safe right now. You know, we got to build us a fortress around us while we can of people. Make sure nothing is left. Yep, that you right. Rashana Moore talking about when your state go to probate, them lawyers gonna make sure nothing is left. Don't do that. I'm talking about them lawyers are gonna build, and they gonna make sure they keep that building going. And it's because they know how much is in there. They know how much the estate is worth. And if there is $50,000 in the estate, the lawyers are gonna try to get that money. So while you and your sister fighting over the car and fighting over the house and fighting over your brother fighting over that little piece of land, the lawyer's like, yeah, no, you don't. They gonna build, buddy. They gonna build. Yep. They are, man. They gonna build. So it is what it is. Let me see. Jerry said we must be an example for the younger generation because they're looking at you. Probate is a long-term solution. He said probate is a long-term solution. They pay their bills before they release the estate. You absolutely right about that. There is no more. He said there is no more that when one pass away, they write off the debt. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you. Listen, I went through that with my daddy, man. With the estate, it's got to be a better way. Being able to set up the estate. I've been thinking about a few things. You got to be careful what move you make early. Definitely if you got a spouse, have a not a liking kind exchange, have a joint tenancy with soul survivorship. Make sure you got it. If you have a spouse, men, ladies, remember this. If you're married and y'all own a property together, make sure you have a joint tenancy with sole survivorship on the deed of that property. Because if you don't, that property go through probate. But if you do, that's excluded out of probate. So I don't know what state you in, but we have a joint tenancy, my wife and I, sole survivorship. So one of us pass away, when our individual estates have to go through probate, the property don't go through probate. So that was something I learned. I learned early. I learned that early, and the reason why I learned that early is because I learned what it's like. Because when somebody don't have one, when you don't have a joint tenancy, the spouse, especially whoever the leftover spouse, have to file what's called a year's. It's basically a year's living expense. So the spouse can file for a year's living expense against the estate, and they will get that too. They will get that. It's called a year's living or something like that. I found that out. I had to help my stepmama with that. But yeah, if it ain't a joint tenancy, boy, that's a problem. Because everybody can come for the property then. I'm talking about if the property is not joint tenancy with sole survivorship, everybody can come from it. Every child, all that. My child wouldn't do that, man. You don't know what your child would do. I'm telling you, you do not know what your child would do. If money involved, you don't know. My daddy told me, man, they wait on me to die. My dad crazy, man. My dad wild. I said, man, they waiting on me to die. That's what he told me. I said, man, no. He said, I'm telling you, they waiting on me to die. I said, no, man. He said, yeah. I said, yeah. So, I guess that was why he didn't handle the business, because that's how he felt. You know, right or wrong, that's how he felt. He said, man, they wait on me to die. And but that was wild. But make sure you got that. Make sure you got on your deed joint tenancy with sole survivorship. Yeah, and at least the property will escape probate. All right, that will escape probate. Now, if there's any taxes outstanding on the property, that's to be left be to the person who inherit the property. But joint tenancy with sole survivorship helps do that. I know that for a fact. As far as estate planning, where it comes to trust, irrevocable trust, revocable trust, just I don't trust lawyers like that. I don't trust lawyers like that. The reason why I don't trust lawyers like that, because them jokers be hustlers. They be hustlers. That's what they be. Attorneys be hustlers. They got their law degrees and they use that piece of paper and their knowledge of the law and their acceptance into the bar to make money. I ain't hating on them, but that's what they do, right? Now with the emergence of AI, you can sit back and doggone come up with legal strategies using Chat GTP. I'm just telling you, for real. Let me see. Keith Trimble said, wise and functional plans. But as for family, character, integrity flaws, unfortunately for some is overwhelming. Long history of breakdown and toxicity. Yeah, but it's also, it has to go both ways too, though, Keith. Like, I hear what you're saying, but it goes both ways. You know, it's always a two-way street. At some point, as a family, we either gonna decide we ain't fooling with each other, or we're gonna figure out we're gonna get to the bottom of this. And a lot of times it's a two-way street. It's both of us. Because I know how I am. Like, I have children. I have 5 children, I had 6, right? And each individually one of them children, I know how I am. Like, I remember how I used to be, especially when I was younger, towards them. So it's like the zero tolerance type thing. Like, no, you're gonna get it together. So now I'm getting older and I'm just trying to understand. I'm not trying to judge and I'm not trying to either correct their behaviors because they're grown now, right? I'm just trying to make it work. Just make it work how we make it work. I ain't gonna accept no bull now. I ain't doing that. Now, ain't nobody gonna be trying me. It ain't gonna be no slick stuff. We ain't doing none of that, all right? But I just try my best to understand, you know? So that's what I've been working on in my personal. I can't speak to everybody's situation because everybody's situation is completely different. But I think we all got similar situations going on. Even though some are worse than others. I've heard some horrible stories, man. I heard one story where the lady was dead in the bed in the hospital. That somebody went up there and tried to slide a jury off her fingers while she was dead. And I understand they didn't want the jury to get buried. Like, you know what I mean? I understand that. You know, but I think, you know, they didn't want the morgue to get the jury, you know, or the funeral home. But the other family members found out about the rings that such and such got off such and such missed such and such fingers while she was laying in the hospital bed. Where mama rings at? Now this person got the rings. What rings? I ain't got them rings, you know. So that kind of stuff right there, crazy, you know. So let me get going. YouTube, I'm over here reading Facebook comments. All right, let me see. We need our own billable hours. It's an accounting. It's an accounting. Okay. Elizabeth Sweet says, I have been saying what I... Hold on. Elizabeth Sweet said, I have been saying what you're teaching for years. Parents pass the family go crazy. Parents pass the crazy. Explain it. Read that comment for. Morris Shonda. And SSI has a 36-month look-back period. Anything within 36 months will be considered a transfer of resources on which you win your right. All right. So now we know. So they're telling us what's going on. So if you now you understand that they say they got a 5-year look back and a 3. SSI has a 3-year look back where they'll go back and look back in your history to see if you transfer any resources out to try to either penalize you or whatever, right? They won't pay for stuff or pay for your health care or whatever, all right? Jerry said they will sell everything. Absolutely, we know that. Elizabeth Swift said, I'm there now. None of us speaking. I took care of my mom 16 years by myself. I'm the only girl out of 4 boys. And that's sad. You know? That's sad. Outside of who right and who wrong. Don't you just think that's sad? You know, it was a time me and my sister didn't speak, especially when we went through that stuff with my daddy. And it was like, I'm right, they wrong, I'm right. Like, you know, they right, I'm wrong. It's crazy. It's crazy that we get to that point about some funky money. You know, it is. But I have witnessed people just change on you completely. You know, you think y'all together and you find out y'all not. You know, and it hurts your heart. Like, I remember how hurt I was when I finally realized how people will really turn on you for money. Man, that hurt me to my core. I have never experienced that kind of hurt. I was depressed for probably about a year or so when I first realized that they would do that. Because I'm not the type of person that's going to turn out on you for money. And we could work together to get this money now. You see what I'm saying? Like, we could come together to work to get the money. I'm with you, man. Let's get the money. You know? But when I find out that a person with you and they acting like they with you, but all the while they working against you and they working their own move. But, oh, man, that hurt me so hard, man. That did. That hurt me, man. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. It says, Charles said, do not connect grands to your bank account because they came after my money. Oh, yeah, I ain't doing that. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, yeah, I heard your story before, Charles. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that story before. Yep. Somebody mentioned that to me before, that they came after their money. Yep, I heard that before. Yeah, never happened. Rodney said, sometimes, like most people, don't wake up from foolishness and trauma until 40s and 50s. Like you said, everybody can't go. People with faith that see the vision and willing to work can. The doubters and people who quit on themselves try to convince other people to quit and nothing changes. And I'm going to also add to that, you know, you got two chemicals. Sometimes you ever seen where you mix two chemicals and they become toxic, all right? One chemical alone, it's not toxic. Like, you got one version of the chemical, you can use it. You got this other version of this chemical or this other chemical, you can use it. But if you mix those two chemicals together, it becomes toxic. That's how some people are. Straight up. They're fine by themselves. This person is fine by themselves. But if you mix them two jokers together, boy, you got a toxic situation. Right. I got two of my kids. I would never, ever, if both of them together, oh, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting part of it. I love y'all, but one of y'all got to go. You understand what I'm saying? Because together is not good. You know, because they'll be, yeah, I get it. I understand. I do. I love them. Love them. Do anything I can for them. But together, absolutely not. We're not doing that. You understand? So I understand what you mean by that. Let me keep going. I'm reading Facebook comments. It says, Keith says, I have no children, but I've started to build myself for my nieces and nephews. I have land already and I'm building on it. So I'm doing it. That's right, brother. That's it. You know, that's all we can do. And I pray and hold on. My car going on. Hold on. Oh, no, that was my wife. But, and also, the other part of it is, we got to make sure we keep our faith, because I know God answers prayers. And that's the part we can't lose in this. I think that's where we fail at. I think we start failing when we start trying to do everything on our own and we lose our faith in the Lord and we lose our connection with Him. Yeah, my and I don't know what just happened to my internet. I'm sorry, but why is this car out here horn blowing? I don't know what that's about. But I think we start this is where we mess up at, is when we lose our faith and connection with the Lord. That's what we mess up at, guys. Sorry about the dropping. I don't know what happened to the internet. It just went down, came back up. But that's the big key component, I think, that a lot of us as people don't want to hear no more. We don't want to hear that no more because we feel as if that don't work. Like, that's nothing. We got all these different reasons why not. And I'm just simply here to tell you, I know what I know, you know. So that's where I've been prayerful and I've been mindful and I've been faithful. Prayerful and faithful. That's it. We're prayerful and faithful. And faith is not something you talk about. It's actually a walk. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I've been doing. So also make sure you keep that entwined in there too. The faith aspect. Because I believe the Lord will provide. Jerry says, sometimes family members will see your dreams. You thought that they would continue what you built but they could not be interested. Yeah. You choose a level-headed person to make solid decisions on what you build. They will sell everything because they don't have a vision. I agree. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why this car right here is going off. One second. Yeah, now that's Mia car they're going off. Her car keep going off. But yeah, you right about that. You know, they sell it. Now let me ask you a question. Is that will we? I think will we serve better by planning our estates at that point, or just saying forget it? If y'all don't do right with it when I'm gone, that's on y'all. I did what I could in my lifetime. If y'all while I'm gone, if y'all just destroy it, that's on y'all. You know, you get what I'm saying? I tried, but you know that's on y'all. Let's keep going. I'm reading these comments. Wanda said, I totally agree with you. I'm going through that with my sisters having talked to me. Yeah, I hear you. Your sisters haven't talked to you. Yeah, that's hurtful. That's hurtful. And people who had never been through that before, they don't understand what that's like. That's hurtful, man. That's hurtful. Yep, very hurtful. And it'll take you out before your time too. Yep. So that's one of the worst things a parent can do is leave the situation and let the kids fight over it. Like, yeah, that ain't. Yeah, I think I'm just I want to buy me a bigger place. I'm gonna put a family cemetery on that mug. I was at this guy's house where I bought my tractor from. Now I understand. I pulled up at his house. Nice place, man. Beautiful place. They just built the place. Do y'all know the front yard? Like, not directly in the front yard, but let's say the place was sitting on probably 5 acres. It wasn't that much. It was probably about 2 acres. It was a little section right in the front of the house. You ride through a cemetery to get to their house. I didn't understand what was going on at the time. It's a beautiful place, though. Like, I'm telling you, this is not no junk. But that was probably their family cemetery. Them folks done built their nice house back there, and they don't probably pay a lick of taxes for that place. I mean, it's right there, like the cemetery walking distance to the house. Like, we in the front yard, you had to kind of look over counter corner to see it, but you could see it. So, I guess that was their strategy, you know? I understand that now, for real. But yeah, man, I'm on, let me see. I was just wanting to come on and shoot the fact with y'all because I put a sale up on all our products while we were on. So y'all could, I always try to make sure I do a sale. So a couple of y'all done took advantage of it while I've been on, 20% off. But I offered it. I make sure I offer it while I'm on. And I just like to share ideas with y'all, all of us who are like-minded and people who are, because I truly believe all of us got a desire for better and bigger. I do. I believe every last one of us have a desire for better and bigger. I don't think we all just know. I think we all do. Now, do that mean just because we desire better and bigger, it's going to work out with our families? Nah, it don't. It don't. It don't mean that's what's going to work out, you know? But it's tough, man. We in a tough place. Y'all know that. Y'all pray for our country, you know? Because we in a tough country, man. Like, there's no unity, no family. It's just us going to work. And all these little entertainment things to make us feel like we're doing fine. You know? Cheap houses. They building up these cheap houses. This cheap garbage. Cheap cars. You know, nothing lasts long periods of time. The food quality trash. Family trash. You know? Like, we're in a tough place. We're supposed to be in the greatest country in the history of the world. That's what they say. But all the while, it's nothing but nothing. Just nothing. Everybody got their own little individual thing going on. Are we going to accept that? That's the thing. Because we can just accept it and just say, well, I'm going to just do my thing. And then when I leave here, that's it. I can't control what happens when I'm gone. Or are we going to try? So I'm trying. Do that mean that's how it do? Does that mean it's going to work? No. That don't mean it's going to work. All right. But does that mean we tried? Yeah. Somebody on YouTube, Roxanne, said you have to figure it out for yourself. I agree. You have to figure out what's going to work for you and yours. I do agree. You know, I don't think it's going to be one blanket thing for everybody, because what worked for me may not work for you. And I agree with that. I do 100%, Roxanne. It may work for you, but don't work for me. And it may work for me and don't work for you. And that's just the truth, you know? Yeah. Wishing, hoping, and wishing it was better ain't gonna make it better, you know? But I sure do wish it was. I wish we could go back to them times, you know, when mother was alive, and just in all our families. Because I don't know if y'all had that experience growing up, but I did. Look forward to going over to my great-grandmama's house to see my cousins. You know what I mean? Like, dang. That was good times, man. Yep. It's all gone now. It's all gone. And all you got is a bunch of individuals and no unity. That's tough. But to God be the glory, y'all. God get the glory for what he gonna do. Because you better believe he ain't. They say, I think Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun. That everything you witnessing now have happened before. That is nothing that you gonna see under the sun right now that has never happened. You know? So, I don't know. But I really wish we could. But maybe it ain't gonna happen. I got faith we can get a small group together. I have faith that we can. And what's his name? Keith. Keith said he building. I got faith for you, and I'm believing for you too, brother. I am, man. I'm believing for you, and for everybody on here who's trying something, I'm believing for you too. All right? Y'all pray for me. I pray for you. We're going to wrap it up. Get out of here for the day. I'm going to keep the sale on all the products on the page, LarryandTheresa.com. Up until 4 o'clock, you can get your products 20% off. But y'all be blessed, man. I thank y'all for joining. I just like to come on and talk with y'all. Sometimes I sit in the room. It's kind of strange. You know, you've been doing lives, but I sit in front of cameras all day long, so it's just normal now. But, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all do. Y'all continue to be blessed. And I thank y'all for coming. I think that information that, what's her name, Roxanne, what's her name was Roxanne Moore. That's her name, Roxanne Moore? Yeah, I think, because I got another Roxanne over here, so I'm not sure. But she shared about the Social Security, estate planning, the 5-year look back, the 3-year look back, if they see anything called transferring. I'm grateful for that information right there, because somebody on this thing could see and use that information, all right? It's Larry, guys. We're going to get out of here today. I'm going to talk to y'all next time. Okay, YouTube?